All right, what's up, everybody? We're going to start working out. First move today is going to be a boomerang. Your hands are going to be on the black handlebars. Your heels are going to be together with your legs on the carriage. And we're going to pike those hips back in 3, 2. Now pike those hips up. Exhaling as you pike upward. Breathe in as you slowly go down and forward. You want to look down as you pike those hips up and back, keeping that neck in line with that spine. Breathing in as you go down and forward, looking forward. Keep that slight bend in that elbow to activate those triceps and keep those wrists and joints protected. You want to go slow as you can. We're only here for 1 minute, and then we're going to do some tricep dips. 35 seconds in, exhale as you pike those hips up. Breathe in as you slowly go down and forward. Now you can always modify by adding on a second white spring. And what that second spring does is it'll help pull the carriage in to help support you. Now we got those tricep dips coming up next. In 8 seconds, we're gonna hold down low and tricep dip in 3, 2. Now hold that boomerang and slowly go down. Exhaling as you push through your forearms or palms. Now, if you need to modify, bend those knees in, and that'll give you a little bit more modification, less heavy through those arms. We're here for a 30-second, and then we're going to go down to a reverse saw, down on your knees on the front platform, and forearms down on that carriage. Making that change in 3, 2. Now go ahead and kneel down on the front platform. Forearms down, palms down or up. Then you want to send that carriage out as slow as you can. Exhaling as you bend the elbow in underneath your shoulders. Breathing in as you push that carriage out, straightening both your arms. Now, what you're doing is you're holding a plank modified on your knees. So you got to keep your core engaged by tightening those abdominal muscles or bringing that belly button towards that spine. You also want to keep those hips slightly elevated, just like you're holding a plank. Breathe in as you go out. Exhale as you slowly bring it back. Now, if you want to make this harder, you can always go up to your toes and make a flying saw. Up on your toes, please make sure that your lower back is not arched. If you feel lower back irritation, just slightly lift up those hips. Now, we got that hold coming up in 3, 2. Now, hold that carriage halfway out and breathe as you hold. We're going to be pulsing 2 inches out in 3, 2. Now, out 2 inches, in 2 inches. Little tiny pulses. Now, anytime that you're in a variation or something that's harder and you get tired, you can always just go back down to those knees and always just go right back up to those toes if you want to do that flying saw. Continue with those pulses. We got that hold in 3, 2. Now hold it halfway out. Slightly lift up those hips. Tighten your abdominal muscles. Now back to full range. Exhaling as you bend that elbow in, breathing in as you send that carriage out. We got a forearm plank to pike coming up next. You're going to stay on your forearms and then go up to your toes, and we're holding that forearm plank before we begin, making that change in 3, 2. Now up on your toes and hold that forearm plank. Now pike those hips up, looking at your toes as you focus on the lifting of your hips, breathing in as you go down, lowering your hips. Now, if you need to modify, what you can do is you can add a second white spring to help pull the carriage in, or you can go up to your hands. I like holding the side of the carriage with my thumbs on the outside on the top, and that helps alleviate a little bit of that wrist strain. Exhale as you pike those hips up. Breathe in as you slowly go down and out. Now, it's very important for you to look at your toes as you pike up and look down at the carriage as you go down to keep that neck in line with that spine. Breathe through this. You can always go back down to those forearms to make it a little bit harder. We got holds, pulses, and holds coming up next. In 10 seconds, we're going to hold that pike up halfway and hold, making that change in 3, 2, now pike up halfway and hold strong, looking at those toes. We're going to be pulsing 2 inches down in 3, 2, now 2 inches down, 2 inches up. Focus on the lowering and raising of your hips to avoid swinging the carriage in and out too quickly. I want you to breathe through this. Remember, you can always go back up onto those hands to modify if you need to. Holding together in 3, 2, now hold those hips up. Breathe through this because we're piking up first in 3, 2, now pike those hips up and then back to full range. We have a high panther or a low panther coming up next. You're going to get on your carriage and kick to the back of the machine with in a push-up position in 3, 2, now get on your carriage, kick to the back and get into a push-up position. Your hands are holding the side of the platform. Your toes are together on the carriage. Now, what I want you to do is bend those knees inward to squeeze those lower abs. Slowly let go of the carriage, exhaling as you bend your knees underneath your hips and then slowly going out. Now, some people say they feel this more in their quads. I want you to try to imagine your lower 7th and 8th abdominal muscle, and I want you to squeeze that first instead of using your quads or your toes. Now, if you need to modify, you can go up to the black handlebars in a tabletop position, focusing again on squeezing your lower 7th and 8th ab. Now, I have a slight bend in my elbows, and you'll notice that I'm not going out too far with my legs because if I do, my hips have the chance of dropping down out of that tabletop position. You want to breathe in as you go out, exhaling as you squeeze with your lower abs first and your knees second. We got holds, pulses, and holds coming up next. You're going to go hold halfway in 3, 2, now hold that carriage halfway in and breathe. Slight bend in those elbows, hips in line with those shoulders. Now pulse, out 2 inches, in 2 inches. Think about those lower abs, squeezing forward, knees second, toes on that strap third. Almost done. We got another hold coming up in 5 seconds, in 3, 2, now hold halfway in and breathe. We're going back out in 3, 2, now out as far as you can and slowly back in. We got that reverse kneeling crunch coming up next. We're going to kneel down on the carriage with our knees against the straps in 3, 2, now kneel down on the carriage, tuck those knees against the strap, tuck your elbows in front of the platform strap, palms up, dropping your legs and knees back to hold that plank. Now round that shoulder and spine up, looking at those knees as you crunch forward with those lower abs. Now what I want you to do is round your shoulder, lift from your belly button, crunching forward with your lower abs. You want to breathe in as your legs go behind you. Exhale as you round, lift, and crunch. Now, when I tell you to lift from your belly button, think about a rainbow or an angry cat. I want you to round the shoulder, and as you lift that belly button, look at your knees to keep that neck in line with that spine. Now, 2 things you do not want to do is to touch the platform and carriage together or swing forward with your knees. You got to try and use those lower abs to squeeze that carriage in. I know you're using those knees, but you want to use them as little as possible. We got holds and pulses coming up in 9 seconds. You're going to round up and hold, making that change in 3, 2, now round up halfway, knees under hips and hold. We're going to be pulsing 2 inches out in 3, 2, now out 2 inches, in 2 inches. Let the carriage automatically pull you back, and then use those lower abs as you exhale to squeeze that carriage in. We have a hold coming up next. 5 seconds, holding halfway in. 3, 2, now hold it halfway in, knees under those hips, and breathe. We're going back out in 3, 2, now out to full range, rounding those shoulders, lifting that belly button up into that crunch. We got a platform lunge coming up next. We're going to stand up on the machine, letting the carriage take you to the front in 3, 2, now take a ride to the front of the machine. We're going to go ahead and grab those weights because we're using weights today. Once you're up top on the machine, we're going to be doing a platform lunge. Your left foot is in the front, your right foot is in the back, and then meet me low for a hold. We're going to be coming up together in 3, 2, now come up slow as you can with that bicep curl. Breathe in as you slowly go down, sitting back like there's a chair. Exhale as you slowly come up like an elevator. I want you to go up like an elevator, pressing through those heels as you come up. That way your knees stay stacked right over your ankle. Now what I want you to be mindful of is, are you pulling the carriage in with your toes behind you on the carriage? If you are, you got to switch all that weight into the front left heel, only coming up through the left leg on the platform. As a variation, you can hold both your weights in your right hand for 6 pounds instead of 3 pounds in each. We have a hold and a back kick coming up next. You're going to meet me low in 3, 2, now hold low and back kick as you bicep curl. You want to exhale as your knees come forward with that bicep curl. Stay low in that left leg. Breathe through this. After this, we got a hold and a pulse. We're going to stay low for that pulse in 3, 2, now hold low for that pulse. And we're going to start those pulses in 4, 3, 2, now pulse. 1 inch up and 1 inch down. Little tiny pulses, up, down, up, down. We got that combo coming up next. In 6 seconds, we're coming up to break in 3, 2, now come up. I want you to shake it off. Now we're going to go down first, and we're going to back kick with that bicep curl, and then come up with another bicep curl. What we're doing is a combo. Lunge down, skate with that bicep curl, and then come up with another bicep curl. We got a single leg squat coming up next. In 5 seconds, turning to the make it shake sign. 3, 2, now face the make it be fit sign. And our left foot is on the front platform, closest to the way we're looking. Right leg diagonally behind us. Coming up in 3, 2, now exhale as you come up through that left leg. And then when you go down, I want you to tricep kick back first before you slowly come up. You want to sit down and back like there's a chair behind you so that your knees do not pass your toes. When you're doing your tricep kickback, just don't swing back quick. Just like every movement on the machine, everything is slow and controlled. The slower you go, the more you shake, the more you tone and shape that body. We're getting ready for skaters with tricep kickbacks coming up next. In 9 seconds, you're going to meet me low to hold to skate with a tricep kick. In 3, 2, now meet me low and hold. Now skate as you tricep kick. Every time the knee comes in, that's when you kick back with your triceps. Breathe in as your legs and arms go out. Exhale as you bend the knee and tricep kick. We got holds coming up next. In 8 seconds, we're going to stay low and hold. making that change. In 3, 2, now hold those weights in front of you. If you need that break, take it. We're going to start those pulses, making that change. In 3, 2, now pulse up and down. Little tiny pulses, pressing through those heels. We have that combo coming up next. In 10 seconds, we're going to come up and then take a break before we start that combo with a skater and a single leg squat. 3, 2, now slowly come up, shake it off. Now, what I want you to do is go down first. I want you to skate and tricep kick, and then come back up as slow as you can go. You want to breathe in as you go down, back with those arms, with that side kick, with that skater, and then slowly come up. In 5 seconds, we got a sumo squat, side by side with your feet. In 3, 2, now reposition your feet side by side, go out shoulder width apart, and then meet me low with your arms at your side, coming up. In 3, 2, now exhale as you come up, pushing your weight up to the sky. Breathe in as you go down, exhale as you push through your heels. Now the job here is to not move the carriage. If you need support, you can add a second white spring, and that will help keep the carriage from moving so much. You can also go as slow as you can to help not move the carriage. Anytime you're at the front and you need that support, you can always add that second white spring. Breathe through this. We got 10 seconds before we meet low to skate. Making that change. In 3, 2, now meet me low and hold. Now let's skate. You're holding low in your sumo squat as you skate out and in with the carriage. You want to focus on not going out too far, because if you go out too far, you're going to have a lot of trouble pulling that carriage in. We got holds and pulses coming up next. In 8 seconds, you're going to stay low in that hold, making that change. In 3, 2, now hold. I want you to breathe through this because we got pulses in 5 seconds. In 3, 2, now pulse up and down. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Little tiny pulses. In 10 seconds, we have a combo. We're going to come up to squat and skate, making that change. In 3, 2, now come up. Take that quick break to shake it off. Now when you're ready, squat down, skate out and in, and then up with those weights, and then squat back down, skate out and in, and exhale as you push upward. We have that one-leg panther or that running man coming up in 5 seconds. 3, 2, now put those weights down. Your hands are going to be on the front handlebars, feet together on that first white line. Send that leg out with your right knee forward. We're going to interchange legs in 3, 2, now slowly bend that left knee in as your right leg goes out. Breathe in as your left leg goes out. Exhale as those knees go in. Now we're focusing on the left leg on the carriage. You're on your left toes, holding your body up as most of your weight is into that left leg on the carriage. To avoid swinging in and out too quickly with your toes, focus on the bending of your knee to slow everything down. Now, with your weight up through your arms, I want that slight bend in that elbow to prevent your wrists from hurting and to activate your triceps. We have that one-leg mountain climber pulse coming up next. In 9 seconds, right knee forward, left leg back. In 3, 2, now left leg back, right foot forward, and pulse. Now, when you're doing your one-leg mountain climber pulse, Think about your lower right abdominal muscle. That's what you're using to pulse that leg up and down, not your knees. Breathe through this. We're not here for much longer. We have 9 more seconds, and then we're going to go back to full range. 5 more seconds. In 3, 2, now bend that left knee in as you go out. Exhaling as you bend the knee forward. Breathing in as you release the leg back. We have that laying hamstring curl coming up next. In 9 seconds, we're going to lay down on the carriage and then tuck your heels in front of the platform strap in 3, 2, now sit on the edge of your carriage. Tuck your heels in front of the strap on the platform. Go ahead and scoot forward and lay down on your back. I want you up into your hips, and I like my hands behind my head. We're going to be pushing out in 3, 2, now start sending the carriage out, extending those legs, and then pulling the carriage in with your heels, pressing down against the strap on the platform, exhaling to give you power. You want to breathe in as you go out, exhaling as you slowly come forward. Now, if you need more support, you can add a second white spring to help you bring the carriage in. If you want to challenge, we're working on our left leg, so lift up the right leg and pull yourself in using that left hamstring. Now, what some people might do is lift up their toes, but you want to try your best to keep both of your feet flat down the whole time. In 10 seconds, we have bridges. We're going to come forward to drop your hips down and raise them up in 3, 2, now come forward. I like to hold the side of my carriage as I go down and up. I'm exhaling as I push through my heels, raising my hips up as high as I can go. You want to focus on exhaling to push through your heels to come up. And you want to squeeze your glutes and your inner thighs at the top. This will help you go a little bit higher, and it will activate your muscles a lot more. We're not here for much longer. Back to full range in 3, 2, now send that carriage out again. Exhaling as you squeeze those hamstrings to pull you in. Press those heels down. Use that strap and press those heels against the on the platform and that strap to come forward. We have a side plank nighthawk coming up next. What you're going to do is face the B-fit wall down on your right forearm in 3, 2, now face the B-fit wall for that side plank nighthawk. Your right forearm is on the carriage. Your knees are stacked on the platform facing the B-fit wall, left hand into the sky. We're going to thread that needle in 3, 2, now thread that needle, bringing that carriage in, lifting that right oblique. Breathe in as you go out. Exhale as you thread the needle, lifting up that right oblique and bringing the carriage in. You want to focus on exhaling as you thread and lift, breathing in as you unthread and unlift that hip. Now, no holds, no pulses. I want you to try to go as slow as you can. To make this harder, you can lift your left leg up and out to make it a little more challenging, or to make it a lot harder, go out with 2 straight legs. 2 straight legs will be a little bit harder. Exhaling as you lift that right oblique, threading the needle and bringing that carriage in. We have a saw coming up next. In 10 seconds, your legs stay off the carrot platform and you go down to your forearms, palms down or up in 3, 2, now go down to that forearm. Your feet are still off the side of the platform, palms down or up. Now send that carriage out, hinging from those shoulders Breathe in as you release. Exhale as you bend the elbow in. You want to take that breath in as that hand goes out, exhaling as you bend the elbow inward. Now remember, this is a saw, so you got to keep those that core nice and tight, never dropping those hips. I like to stack my left foot over my right rather than keeping them side by side, but totally up to you. We're getting ready for those holds and those pulses. In 11 seconds, you're going to push out halfway and hold. 5 seconds in 3, 2, now push out halfway and hold. I want you to slightly lift up those hips and tighten your core. Now out an inch, in an inch. Little tiny pulses. Don't drop those hips. Keep that ab nice and tight, engaging that core. We have that other side plank nighthawk coming up next. We're going to be facing the make it shake sign with your left forearm down on that carriage. In 3, 2, now side plank facing the make it shake sign. Your legs and feet are off the platform, stacked with your left forearm on the carriage, right hand up, threading that needle in 3, 2, now thread the needle as you bring the carriage in and lift up that left oblique. Breathe in as you unthread the needle. Exhale as you thread, lift, and come inward with that carriage. Think about every time you exhale, you want to exhale as you exert effort so that it'll give you extra power. And anytime that you release, you want to inhale with that oxygen. Remember, no holds, no pulses, just go as slow as you can. You want to keep your whole forearm planted, never leaning into your forearm, lifting up the front of your forearm. Now, we're almost there. We're going to be starting that saw. Your feet stay off the left side of your front platform, knees stay stacked, and your forearms go down, palms down or palms up. You got 7 seconds. Starting that saw in 3, 2, now forearms down, palms down. Stack that leg over. Now push that carriage out as you breathe in, exhaling as you bend the elbow inward. Keep that hip slightly elevated. Tighten that abdominal muscle to engage that core. Breathing in as you go out. Exhaling as you bring it back. I like to stack my right foot over my left because I like that more than them having them side by side. But try everything out and make sure that you feel comfortable no matter what workout you are accomplishing. Now, we got those holds and pulses coming up next. We're going to be holding the carriage halfway out in 8 seconds, and we're going to hold strong before you pulse. In 3, 2, now out halfway and hold. Now pulse, out an inch, in an inch, out, in, slow and controlled. Breathe through this. This is the last oblique exercise. We're finishing up with our right leg in a 1-minute plank at the end of class. You got 9 more seconds. You can do this. Breathe through it. We're going to start with that right leg for platform lunge in 3, 2. Now go ahead and grab those weights again. Wipe off that sweat if you need to. Once you have those weights in your hand, we're standing up on the platform facing the front of the studio. Right foot in the front, left foot in the back, meeting me low for that hold because we're coming up with that bicep curl in 3, 2. Now exhale as you come up like an elevator, bicep curling as you come up. Think about what I said about breathing in and out. You're exhaling as you push through your heels to come up. And when you bicep curl, that energy you're using is when you curl. So that's why I'm having you come up with that bicep curl, exhale. Now remember, you can have both your weights in your left hand and make sure that you're not swinging in with the carriage with your toes behind you on that carriage. Focus on pressing through those heels to come up like an elevator, remembering if you don't use your toes, lifting them up will ensure that you're only using your heels, and that will activate your hamstrings and glutes a lot more. We have that back kick coming up next. Meeting me low in 3, 2, now meet me low and hold. Now back kick in as you bicep curl. You're holding low in the right leg in an isometric hold as you bend that left knee inward for what we call a back kick. Now see how I'm bending the knee in as I bicep curl? That is exerting effort through your legs and your arms. Exhaling as you bicep curl. We have a hold coming up in 3, 2, now hold. Breathe through this because we're going to start those pulses in 3, 2, now pulse up and down. Press through those heels. Remember to breathe through this. Use those fingers on those black handlebars if you need to. And remember, I like fingers because if you use palms, you're going to go down way too far. Coming up together in 3, 2, now push through those heels. I want you to shake it off, and when you're ready, combo. We're going to go down first, back kick with that bicep curl, and then slowly come up again with another bicep curl. Breathe in as you go down. Exhale, breathe in, and then exhale again as you come up. You might be breathing more than once, but that's okay. We're facing the left in 3, 2, now step forward, facing the make it shake sign for a single leg squat. Your right foot is towards the front of the wall, left leg diagonally behind you, meeting me low for a hold, coming up in 3, 2, now push through those heels to come up, and once you're low, tricep kick before you come up. Remember, go slow with those tricep kicks. We want to be slow and intentional in everything that we do. Exhale as you tricep kick, and then exhale again as you come up. Breathing in as you slowly go down, sitting back so that your knees don't pass your toes. I always like to say to sit down on that black handlebar behind you, just like there's an imaginary chair. We have skaters coming up next. In 10 seconds, you're going to meet me low for a hold to skate and tricep kick. In 3, 2, now meet me low and tricep kick as you bend the knee in to skate. A skater is bending the knee inward towards your body, moving the carriage in. So every time that knee comes in, that's when you tricep kick. We got holds and pulses coming up next. You're going to be staying low for a hold in 6 seconds. In 4, 3, 2, now stay low and hold. Remember, fingers on those bars. If you need that support, we're pulsing together in 3, 2, now pulse up and down. Little tiny pulses. You can do this. You're almost done. You have 10 more seconds, and then we're going to come up for a quick break to combo. 5 seconds left. Coming up in 3, 2, now come up. I want you to shake it off, and when you're ready, we're going to go down for that combo. We're going to go down first, and then tricep kick as you skate, and then come up slowly. Breathe in as you go down. Bend that knee in with that tricep kickback, and then slowly come up. We got that sumo squat in 6 seconds. Feet side by side in 3, 2, now reposition your feet side by side. Push the carriage out halfway, and then meet me low for a hold because we're coming up in 3, 2, now exhale as you push through your heels, coming up with those weights. You want to sit down and back, just like we did for that single leg squat, to ensure that your knees never pass those toes. Breathe in as you go down. Exhale, pushing through those arms. If you like a combo, sometimes I tell people to do that bicep curl, then come up with those weights, but totally up to you. We have that skater coming up next. We're going to meet me low for a hold in 11 seconds to skate in and out with that left leg. 5 seconds. Meeting me low in 3, 2, now meet me low and skate. You are holding low in an isometric hold, squatting. All that weight is in your right leg as you send the carriage in and out with the left. We have holds and pulses coming up next. In 9 seconds, you're going to hold low before you pulse. Making that change in 3, 2, now hold that squat and breathe. We're going to start those pulses in 5 seconds. In 3, 2, now pulse. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Good job. Don't move that carriage. Breathe through this. We have that combo coming up next. In 9 seconds, we're going to be coming up for that quick break. 5 seconds, coming up together in 3, 2, now come up and shake it off. And when you're ready, we're going to squat down, skate out and in before you come up with those weights. Breathe in as you go down, skate out and in, and then exhale, coming up. We're going to be setting those weights on the floor in 6 seconds, making that change in 3, 2, now put those weights down on the floor. We got that one-leg panther or running man coming up next. Your hands are on the black handlebars, feet together on the first white line. Send that carriage out with that left knee in front, coming in 3, 2, now bend that right knee in as that left leg goes out. Most of that weight is into your right leg on top of those toes. You want to focus on going slow with the bending of your right knee and try not to swing the carriage in with your toes. Every time that right knee comes forward, that left leg goes back, and every time the right leg goes back, that left knee comes forward. Slight bend in your elbows to activate your triceps and to protect a little bit of that wrist and those joints in those elbows. We have that one leg mountain climber pulse coming up next. In 10 seconds, your right leg is behind you and your left knee is forward. Making that change in 3, 2, now left leg is forward, right leg is back as you pulse with that mountain climber single pulse. Now, as you're bending that knee to pulse, think about your lower left abdominal muscle. That's the motion and movement that you're using to pulse upward with those knees. We have 8 more seconds, and we're going back to full range in 3, 2, now bend that left knee in as that right knee in as the left leg goes out, interchanging both slow as you can. Exhale as you bend that right knee forward. We got that laying hamstring curl.